right. Okay, so what I want to, thanks everybody for joining me for this Canvas Basics training. So really what the point of doing this training is just to sort of get you familiar with the main pieces of Canvas that you'll probably be working with. So the main pieces would be this landing page that we're looking at here. So the landing page would be, it's actually not only a landing page, what we're used to saying, but it's actually called a page. And in every classroom, there's a landing page as well. It's kind of that first screen when you click on the dash, you know, if you have your little card on Canvas, you click on it and open it. It's the screen that you automatically fall onto, the landing page. We'll also talk a little bit about how to create other pages, how to create a discussion, and then how to organize that information so it makes sense to your attendees, you know, what Canvas calls your students, but in this case, most likely will be your faculty. So let's go ahead and get started. So on, I'm not sure if you all have this page. Sometimes if you've played around with it or you have a joint page with someone else, they might have messed around with it a little bit. If you don't land on a page where it's just kind of blank and it looks like maybe a blank announcement, go ahead and go to pages, and then you can add a new one. But if that's not a concern that we have, we'll go ahead and get started. So if you teach in a classroom and you have created an announcement in a classroom, all of this should seem pretty familiar. So let's go ahead and click on edit. I'm going to turn on my annotation spotlight just so you can, not that one, this one, so you can see where I'm typing a little bit. So I have a page of information. So if you're wondering, like, where is she getting all this information? I have a page of information that I have put together to kind of fill in this test classroom, just so you can kind of see what that looks like. So if you're wondering where I'm getting that information from, that's where I'm getting it from. So I have dubbed our little test page, Welcome to EDU 225. So that's what we're gonna call it. So you can add all kinds of things into here. This can be something that is from Flickr. It can be something that you have in Canvas already. I kind of have a little bit of the stuff preloaded just to show you what it could look like. You guys might be way fancier than me. So just a little welcome, and I want to make him centered. So what we're doing is this is just kind of your welcome page. It's going to tell everybody a little bit about what your space is used for. Again, this information, I think I pulled off of ashford.edu. It's not real information per se. We'll make him bold. There, cute. Okay, so on this page, you're gonna, welcome your faculty to your page. You're gonna talk to them a little bit about why you have this classroom. Maybe you're gonna include a video of you kind of walking people through the classroom, or maybe it's a video introducing your leadership team, or however you feel like you want to have that first welcome spot. So you can either create a video like you can in your classroom directly within Canvas. You can use YouTube. So if you have a YouTube account that you use professionally, personally, or for your college, you can use that as well. And YouTube, if you haven't used it before, you can either put in, so if you already know what the URL is for that, you can put it in, or you can use search terms. But if you're creating the video, you're probably going to know. And this, again, is just a video that I pulled from our CETL YouTube page. So I'm going to make this Meet Your Instructor video from Lee Bennett in here. And then something that might be helpful is if, and we'll talk a little more about this in a little bit, is maybe linking the module, linking some of the organizational pieces that you have. But I'm just going to save right here just so we can see what that looks like when we land. So this is our landing page when we come in. It's going to have, it can be as short or as long as you want it to be. and I didn't center that that video. I probably would do that and probably would, you know, use some color to kind of pep it up. But that's just kind of our landing page. So that should, again, be as soon as you jump into your classroom, you should be on that. If you're not, you can always go to pages, and we can view all pages, and then we can add. So before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about this menu over here. So I've already sort of edited this down, but if you want to play with it a little bit, this very bottom word here, settings, that's what you want to click on in order to get there. So let's go ahead and click on settings. So within settings, it's like it knows that I'm using Zoom and wants to run slowly. Within settings, this is what we call the navigation menu. Over here is the navigation menu. So anything in bold is what the non-owners can see. So what Canvas calls your students, but in most of our cases, we're talking about faculty. All of the bolded items are things that faculty can see. So if you wanted to encourage faculty to create portfolios, maybe you want to add that back into your list. Or if you feel like that doesn't really sound like it's something our faculty are use there that will direct them to, you can either, again, just drag it back down or click on these little 3 dots here, and you can move it. Right now it's not enabled, so we're good. But we're going to pull that out because I'm not going to use Portfolium in these examples, and we're not going to use conferences just for my purposes. So this is how and then you always want to make sure you click save, because it's not going to save your changes and you're going to go click out and your navigation menu is going to look exactly the same. So make sure that you click save. Also on the course details, there's information that you can change here. So you can choose this image. So, you know, when you're looking at your dashboard, when you first log into Canvas, there's these little cards and often there's kind of a picture behind it. That's what the image is. It'll still be in whatever color they chose. We'll want to just make sure that we keep it in the default term. You do not have to have an end date for yours unless you want it to end at the end of the year and it opens redirect people to a new one. You do have the ability to make your course available or viewable or accessible at an institution level. And then you also have the ability to do that to make it public. So you don't have to be within our Canvas instance in order for other people to see that. And I will share with you that some of the training that I received myself was from other universities, CETLs, that had their training Canvas page set to public level, so I could see and could get to those videos. So it's really, really neat. And then you don't have to do any of these changes. None of that's, you don't even have to set the format. But I just clicked online. And again, we want to click update. On the other one, it was save. On this one, we click update. There's one other thing I just kind of want to show you under this menu. It is under the apps. Sections are kind of a little bit more in the weeds than what a basic course would go over. This is if you're trying to replicate your particular course multiple times and have a bunch of different people who owned it. But in lieu of that, there are a number of apps that are already integrated within Canvas. Some of them have you have to, purchase a subscription and all kinds of things like that. But there is one tool that I wanted to share with you. Again, there's so much out there about Canvas. This is just kind of a basics course, but I did want to show you this kind of neat, it's called the redirect tool. So redirect. It looks like that, just the redirect tool. And how I've used it, what it allows you to do is to completely embed an external website into your Canvas course. So right now I'm working with a group to create a faculty research page, and part of the research team, what they do is they support the faculty creative scholarship blog that Murad Abel oversees. So I was able to completely embed that website, and it does not force you to click out of this instance in order to engage with it. So if you wanted to post a comment, you could from here. If you wanted to listen to the SoundCloud recording that they have, it will
This meeting is being recorded.
So this is the SoundCloud that they have.
Welcome everybody.
Which is really kind of neat if you have, an association that you want your faculty to really get involved in, or you have, external web page that you want them to become familiar with, and then it'll just live within your navigation bar. So just wanted to kind of show that little piece right there. Does anybody have any questions? Let me take a quick break. Anybody have any questions about that? The settings, the navigation, or the landing page. We'll go into discussions, pages, and then how to add people next, but I just want to make sure we didn't have any questions. All right, so there's a couple of ways that we can organize information within the Canvas, within these Canvas spaces. And so generally the rule of thumb is to put like things together. So for example, if you have a number of programs within, so I've just clicked on pages right here, and I'm going to click view all pages because we're going to create a new one. If you have a number of courses within your program, for example, one thing that you can do is, oh, I didn't delete that page. We're going to recreate it. Well, let's not recreate it. Let's just show you. So I'm going to show you how to update it, but one of the ways that you can do it is to have all of the information, like for this EDU 225 class, for example. We would have all of the resources and a discussion and anything you want related under one roof, or what we call a module. The other way of thinking about it is to have all of the resource pages for all of the classrooms that you have under one, and then all the discussions under one. It's really kind of whatever makes the most sense for you. So in this example, what I did was create a really kind of thrown together resource page for this class. So what it is I'm telling them it's an information about the course, how it fits into the degree, the major outcomes, and then this is a pretend video that does not explain those things, but this might be where you would insert a video or maybe content explaining how this course fits into the big picture of your program. Then maybe some videos or articles that are helpful or are relevant to the way that you created the class, or maybe specific assignments or discussions. Excuse me, maybe you've added, some sample announcements, or things that your faculty can use. So all great resources for creating a space where faculty can go and gather a bunch of information about teaching that particular course. So when we go back to view all pages, again, we can add a page simply by clicking plus page. It's going to list the pages that we already have on there. So we can click add a page, and we're just going to say this is a page, and then we're gonna just throw some text in there just so you can kind of see. It works literally almost exactly like announcement. So put in some information. Again, you have all of these tools, and you can either publish it right there or you can click save. I feel like it's always great just to click save, and then you can always publish once you kind of have everything put together. So now we've got our page that we just created that has all of our content for all of the resources that we want our faculty who are teaching EDU 225 to have. So the next thing we want to do is we want to open up the opportunity for our faculty to have a discussion about the course that they teach. So potentially they might have questions about the content, or how maybe an assignment was determined, or just questions. So we're going to add a discussion. So again, I just clicked on discussions and did the little plus discussion. It's really, like I said, pretty easy to understand once you figure out where everything is at in the space. So this is a discussion. And so we want people to add questions, and maybe we're going to add the syllabus of, this is not, again, the syllabus, not a real syllabus, but maybe we add the course syllabus or something like that. So if people want to pull up for things to reference back to. And again, we can allow liking. We can allow this to be a threaded discussion. You can attach information if that makes the most sense for you. And again, we don't have to put any dates, any parameters on this. And we're just going to go ahead and click save. So those are kind of the two, I would say, chunks of information where you're going to have faculty being directed to. So pages, which can be set up as resources, and discussions, which again can be resources, but also an opportunity for faculty who teach the class to ask questions to leadership, but also for them to engage with each other. These don't all have to necessarily be engage or classroom specific. So let's go into modules. Now so we've created a resource page, we've created a discussion, and now we're going to create the module, which is going to sort of organize our information. So when we click on modules, and again, that isn't going to be visible to students, but we've already got a module, and right here is what I'm talking about, where you can have a discussion that or information that isn't necessarily tied directly to a classroom. So this is something that I set up before. So you could have a page under a who's who in whatever your program is. So I created a page that just had my photo, my title, and a short bio about me. So you could create a page for each one in your leadership team, or you can have it all on one page. Or it could be a video, it could be both, kind of whatever makes the most sense to you. And then also under that piece is a place for them to post their introduction. So we've created a little introduction, and it's all under the who's who, and obviously you wouldn't call your program the test program, but who's who in, the BAPSI or whatever it is. So videos are encouraged, and maybe you started out as a video, etc. So let's go back into the modules, and we're going to put together a module. I thought I had deleted those EDU, but once we click on modules, we go to add modules. So it's always, we go from the navigation bar, and then there's usually a little purple box that's going to allow us to add something new. So we're going to call this module, I think it's EDU, right? EDU 225. And like I said, I created that last time. We don't have any prerequisites for this. Anybody who enters our classroom can do that. So now we've got our module. It's boxed out. Here's our little section. So we're going to add to the modules. So we're first going to add our discussion. So this is a discussion, that's the one we created, but we'll do the one that I had meant to create today, but didn't realize I didn't delete it from last time. So we're gonna add the discussion, but any discussion that you've created is gonna show here. So it's easily changeable. And okay, so we've got EDU 225. Now we've got the discussion, and we also wanna add that page with all of our information. So we're gonna drop down, there's lots of different options that we could use. And click on page, and we'll do the EDU 225 resources. We're gonna add that. And let's say, in the top one, we added the page first and the discussion second. So just come over here, drag it, and change it. So it's really, really simple and really forgivable. So let's say we get done. Now we've organized our information. We've created a resource page. We've created a discussion. We've created a module that helps us organize the information. Now we want to go ahead and publish it. So see all these blocks here? If you click on those, that will allow us to publish, okay? So let's say you publish it, and Jen Zauer, you have somebody who comes in and does an edit, does a quality review, and they see a whole bunch of grammatic errors. Oh no, under your resource page. Very simple, you can just unpublish it. and then go back in and edit it. You know, if you can't get to it right that very second, and rarely can any of us do that with how our days go. Who's chatting? Good to know. Yeah, so we can always unpublish or republish and drag and move things all around and add however you want. So we've got our information here. We've got our module set up. And again, you're fill this how it makes the most sense to you. So let's go back to our home page. So that's that landing page that we created right at the beginning. So something that might be helpful is to just put on a couple of links that would allow people to get right to, you know, the most, or where you want to direct them to. So let's say we're going to go ahead and edit this welcome page. And it's slow, slow, slow. But perhaps you're going to write something like, you know, the main thing that you need to do is start at the modules. You know, start at the modules and go to the class. So this is a quick links. So we're going to type modules here. And so what we want to do is on modules, if we right click, oh, and I finally published modules, so it's there. So if we right click and open in a new tab, it will give us an actual URL that our students, faculty can get into. So you can actually use that URL to hyperlink into any page or discussion. So this might be information that you already know, but I think it's just helpful to point out. So if you want people to, you know, start here, kind of like how they have at the beginning of any of our classes, that big start here button, and you want that start here when they click on it to go to modules, because that's where everything's organized. You can right click on modules, pull that URL and hyperlink, you know, a start here button, if you think that might be helpful for your people. And I think having more than one place where people can kind of click to have information is really helpful. Then, so we're going to save that. So our page is good to go. We've got our welcome page. We're going to pretend that we've built out all of the information. And this is already published from last time, but it's supposed to be unpublished. But this is another great thing if you want to, the front page, dang it. Okay, I meant to be on home. So I might have unpublished, but same exact scenario as the individual components. You can publish and unpublish as it makes sense. So right now, if we wanted to say, okay, our page is good to go, we have all of the content set up the way that we want. It is already published, but again, we can unpublish that information. So we've got a published page. It's full of all of the information that we want to share with faculty. We've got a bunch of great discussions, places that we're hoping that they find engaging so they can engage each other and engage with you and engage with the content. So then we're going to go over to people. We're going to add some of our people on. Now, when I show you my dropdown, it's going to show more options than you have, but bear with me. So again, we click on the navigation, we come over here, and it offers us a little box so that we can add people. So go ahead and hit plus people, and we're going to add ketchup. Oh, no E. And the reason I'm picking on Jen is that I can see her email address right there, so. All right, so there's sort of two places that you're going to be able to put this, put these individuals. One is into a student role. A student allows them to participate like a student is in any of our Canvas classrooms. They can They can respond, they can like, they can respond to each other, they can respond to you, kind of a normal student role. So the other options that you have is observer. So as an observer, this might be maybe like your associate dean or your executive dean, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's somebody from a different program that is just coming in to see how yours operates. You can put them in as an observer. So they can see everything in your classroom, but they can't do anything. They can't participate. So those are the two options. Now, you don't have to have just one person own your class. If you want to have all of your full-time faculty own a portion of this classroom, they have responsibility to it, just let me know and I can add them in as a one of two things or both. If you have a classroom, I've enrolled you as a designer and as a teacher. So that allows you to change things, and it allows you to participate as, as a teacher, as Canvas calls, or the operator, the owner of the page. The designer allows you to add discussions or delete pages or edit pages, etc. So the teacher role, you can do things like post an announcement, etc. So if you have more people that need that functionality, just let me know and I can add those. So we're going to add Jen. We're going to click next. And we're going to add those users. So Jennifer is now in. So when she logs into her, oh, she's observing, so she didn't get an invite. Sorry, I'll change that. So you're back to a student. But what would happen is you would see a pending for that person, and the next time they log into their Canvas dashboard, Jennifer would have to log in under her staff account. She would see a pending right at the top of her dashboard, so she can choose to accept or decline. And that is how we add people. So that's basically the major components that I think will help you to kind of get started, get your information organized, and help your attendees have a good experience once they're into your classrooms. What questions does everybody have? It was a perfect training. No one has any questions. Obviously, all wisdom was in. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think once I get in and play around a little bit, then I'll know, but it definitely, it seems, fairly easy. So that's good. And so I just have to get in there and play.
Yeah, I will tell you that I did not know anything about doing this just a couple of months ago, but I showed you that research page and I have to create stuff for that. And so I'm like, well, gosh, I better figure out what I'm doing. And it was a lot simpler than I thought, because how you add things is the same thing sort of regardless of what section you're in.
Yeah.
You click on what you want from the nav. If you want to add something, it's in a little purple box, and then it looks sort of like an announcement. So it really is probably easier. Now there's a lot of other stuff that you could get into that would probably require a little more training if you wanted to do groups of people that could only go into these sections and stuff. But if you're just looking to have a page where, like a home base for your faculty to go, knowing those kind of four components, the landing page, the pages, the people, the discussions, and then how to get everything published, you should be good to go. Perfect. Okay, well, if nobody has any questions, like I said, I recorded this. Yep, Julie. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I have the other recording as well. If you wanted to listen to 60 minutes of me talk about the same thing rather than just 30, you're welcome. But I will send this out as soon as Zoom tells me that it's ready to go. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to go through and make sure, I really want to make sure that you feel confident in doing this meeting or in creating these spaces for your faculty. So if you need me just let me know. I'd be happy to meet one-on-one with you. But other than that, thanks, guys. I'll get the recording to you.